Alright, welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here, and in this video we want to be talking about perfection versus authenticity. What actually brings you more money? Because chances are very high that if you're watching this, you're not perfect 10 out of 10 at a certain expertise. Maybe you're just thinking about creating an online business as a coach or as a consultant or as a service provider, but you're by no means perfection. Right? And this is something that a lot of people actually ask me. They send me, a DM on Instagram, or they message me on Facebook or via email, and they say, hey, listen, I'm not perfect at this yet. Can I still make good money? Can I still make good success? And the answer is yes. So I wanted to make a video on that to just kind of go a little deeper on why it actually makes you more money if you're authentic and quote unquote imperfect than if you're 10 out of 10 perfect. So that being said, let's get started right away.
Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a boring dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money, and just enjoying life? No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you. So here's to your freedom.
So I kind of want to juxtaposition several different arguments here of imperfection versus perfection, or authenticity versus perfection. And the first one is, let's compare someone who's a 10 out of 10 expert at something. Compare that with someone who's 2 to 3 steps ahead of the average person. Okay, I'm not saying somebody who has no experience, zero, okay? Like what we usually always teach is, if you have a skill in your life, if you have overcome an obstacle in your life, you legitimately can build a successful online coaching business from that, or online service providing, and actually help people, right? You need to be 2 to 3 steps ahead of the average person. That is all you need. If you have 10 out of 10 expertise, that's great, all right? Don't get rid of it, keep it, but usually you just have to be 2 to 3 steps ahead of the average person. Now, why is that? Well, it's almost like, imagine a learning curve, okay? And 0 out of 0 is the average person, right? As an example, you want to teach someone how to play guitar, okay? Now you yourself, you're not the virtuous guitarist out there who's playing the crazy symphonic stuff, but you know how to play guitar. You know how to play songs, you know pretty well the basics, and you're intermediate, for example, right? So you might be at 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Right? Now someone like, the best guitarist in the world is a 10 out of 10, Eric Clapton or whatnot. And now if you go ahead and say, I want to focus on people that are at 0 out of 10, focus on people that have, a busy life. They've always wanted to be able to pick up a guitar and, play their favorite songs at a bonfire and impress their friends. They don't need to be the next level, next Eric Clapton. They just want to know how to play guitar. So they're at 0 out of 10, you're at 3 out of 10, and Eric Clapton is at 10 out of 10. And that 0 out of 10 person wants to learn, right? They want to get a mentor. Now, disregard the fact that Eric Clapton probably costs a lot of money to book for a session, right? To have them as your mentor. Even Eric Clapton at a 10 out of 10 wouldn't be even that good for the 0 out of 10 person, because Eric Clapton is so advanced with his 10 out of 10 knowledge, he wouldn't even be able to resonate with the 0 out of 10 person. Many times Eric Clapton, just as an example, probably wouldn't even possess the patience to deal with the beginner problems of, this is how you hold a guitar, relax your shoulders, these are the strings, this is how you hold the hands like this, and so on and so forth. Whereas you, with your 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10 knowledge, will absolutely be able to help them with that, right? If that person has as a goal to learn guitar so they can play a couple songs at the bonfire, absolutely, right? Or is it even bonfire? How do you say, like the campfire? I would say bonfire, campfire, same example, right? So as you can see, I'm not perfect either with shooting these videos, and that's not a problem, because also the next point about that is people can actually resonate with that, okay? If I look at my very first business, the dating advice business, I actually been traveling the world for, I think, 4 years as a dating coach, made a couple million with that. I made my first million at the age of 26. Some people don't know that nowadays. It's great. So many new people coming on this channel, not knowing that I actually made my first couple million with coaching. Right? And then I started later on branching out, helping people how to build their own coaching businesses as well. Because again, like I've done it for myself, done it for hundreds of clients at this point. And what I realized that when I started as a dating coach, I was working oftentimes with other dating coaches, and these people would have been in the industry for 10, 15 years. And they all told me, like, Max, most of our clients can resonate better with you because you're more authentic. You come across as not the 10 out of 10 expert, but maybe a 6 or 7 out of 10, or again, like 4 out of 10. And you can resonate much better with these people that are in the beginning. Also, you have much more patience. And thus, I was actually able to give them better results than the 10 out of 10 expert, right? Plus, I was more authentic, okay? And what I realized too is when you are honest in your marketing, when you are honest in the way you present yourself, including your flaws, but you're also honest about the fact that you can definitely help people, then that's something that people actually want to be paying for much more than the perfect, elusive 10 out of 10 expert. So people actually resonate with someone, and when they resonate with someone, it's easier for them to actually give that someone money. All right, so actually not even in terms of, this is not some just be yourself kind of feel-good content. This is hard-earned facts, meaning if you're authentic, you will actually make more money, and that's great. So let's get to the next comparison. The famous expert versus someone real. And you've heard me talking about this many times before that, you know, we have clients making over $10,000 a month, $50,000 a month. They don't even have a website yet. I keep saying this, you don't need a website, you don't need a big brand, you don't need a big YouTube or Instagram following whatsoever. You don't need these things to make your first 10K a month. You don't need those. And then many people say, but Max, how do these people even sell anything? Like if there's all these experts out there with a legit website and they look so great, how can I even make money your clients as complete nobodies? Well, that's how you start. Obviously, if you have a website, those things help. And you know, once our clients make 10,000 a month, more consistently, we actually get them to a point where we say, okay, now let's help you with a small niche brand and scale you up to, you know, 6 figures a month and so on and so forth. But if you're a real person, it's easier for you to sell, right? What you do is you reach out to people manually in the beginning. That's step one, phase one. You reach out to people manually, you get them on a call, you show them your expertise. And when these people ask you, do you have a website? What about the other famous expert? How are you better than them? You can literally be honest and say, I don't know, maybe I'm not better than them. But I'm also not one of these great famous experts out there that have thousands of clients. I'm a real person. It's just me. Right? I'm sitting here with you and I'll make sure that you'll get those results. I'm not someone who's been traveling the world on some fancy world tours, right? Just what I just said. I'm a real person, right? So you can see that if you own your strengths, if you own your situations, you can make it work either way. Okay, and by the way, on a side note, a great way to kind of like learn more about that authenticity on whatever level you are is to follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna put my Instagram, we're gonna edit that in, put a little description link down below to my Instagram as well. It's very interesting because I'm always trying to show the authentic side of building a business and how far it can actually get you. I'm also doing live streams on my Instagram every week. I'm doing Instagram Q&As, and most importantly, I reply to all my DMs. So if you have a specific question, you'd like to get in touch with me specifically, go ahead, send me a DM. I'll try to reply to all of them as much as I can on a timely manner, right? But send me a DM and get in touch with me. A little shout out here. Let's talk about the next point. I kind of mentioned that before. A degree, or someone with a degree, someone with a certificate versus someone who doesn't have that. Again, what I want to tell you here is that the potential client is very arrogant. They don't give a damn who you are. They don't give a damn if you're famous or if you're someone not famous. They don't care if you're 10 out of 10 or just a 4 out of 10. What they care about is, can they get results? What's in it for me? Right, as a potential client. That's all they wonder. That means whether or not you have a theoretical certificate hanging behind you on the wall or not doesn't matter for them. If you know that you can help them, if you can communicate to them that you possess the expertise, that you are 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of them, and that you can actually help them get results, they will not care. So if you stumble into the problem like, oh, people ask me about a certificate, about a degree all the time, then you just don't know how to sell. The skill of sales can be taught within a couple days, 3, 4 days, in order to already know how to handle that objection of you don't have a degree, you don't have a certificate. All right. In fact, I would almost go as far as to say someone without a degree, without a certificate, will have an easier time getting clients than someone with. Why? Well, because they haven't spent 5 years in university in a theoretical classroom learning about the book. No, they've been there themselves, right? Which is again why we always say, if you have a skill that you've taught yourself, if you're good at something, if you've overcome an obstacle, you have real life experience, and that in the eye of the prospect is much more worth than the theoretical certificate. All right. Now, the last point that I want to talk about here is if you're new. I get this a lot. People say, but Max, I'm new, and like you said, I don't need a website, I don't have a big YouTube whatsoever. I'm new, I haven't had any clients. Some people ask me about my experiences teaching other clients. What should I say? Should I lie? Should I make testimonials up? The answer is no, don't do that. Be honest, tell them no. You're my first client. To be honest, I haven't worked with anybody else. Again, make it work in your favor. Tell them that. Be honest, be like, yes, I haven't worked with anybody. Yes, you would be my first client, but that's a great thing because that means that you have my sole attention. I will do everything in my power to get you as my first client proper results. Right? Which is good for them because all they care about is getting results. They don't care if you've had clients before or not. If you say, look, I'm 100% sure we can make this happen. I'm going to put my entire effort into you because I want you to succeed because you're my first client. And hell, if you're super insecure about that, if you're not sure, then go charge them a lower price. Right? Give them half a price. Give them the first test client price. Right? And again, be sure that you definitely give them results. And once they get results, boom, now you have a happy client. That client can get you another client by referring you. That client can also leave you a positive testimonial, a little review, you know, and you can use that for your marketing and so on and so forth. But always be honest and be authentic. That sells way better than you lying to them now, because then you're building a client, a mentor relationship upon a lie. You don't want to do that, right? Be authentic. It'll actually help you generating more sales and making more money. And that is why it's so great. And that is something that means a lot to me as a business consultant. When I have a client and they start from zero, they start from scratch, and they're just authentic, they're themselves. They're not trying to build this fake brand with like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool, I'm sitting in a fake private jet or something along those lines. No, they're just being honest and they're making good money. Right? Because they're getting the results, they're following a proven process, right? And that authenticity is something that I've always stood for and that I've always liked more, right? That's also something why you hear me talk about, you know, you've seen, are we still putting the Lambos in the intro and stuff like that? I think, no? One shot. So if there's a Lambo in this intro, it's a rented car. Okay, I like renting Lambos or nice cars when I go somewhere to travel because I prefer that over going by taxi or by train. I just rent a nice car, I drive around with that. Okay, that's why you keep hearing me saying this, right? I keep saying, hey, the cars are rented, because I don't want you to think like, oh, Max is one of these gurus out there that is fake renting these Lambos claiming those are yours. No, I always say these are rented cars. I mean, they still cost whatever, $2,000 per day to rent these. But again, like I like renting those because it's much better than driving a cab. So that being said, what I'm trying to get across here is perfection versus authenticity. Which actually makes you more money? It is the authenticity. You don't need to be a 10 out of 10 expert. You don't need to be famous, all right? You just have to be real. You don't need to be have a degree or certificate. You just have to show the prospect that you can give them results. You don't have to have 50 testimonials already. Just be honest, tell them they're your first client, and go make sure they get results, right? And last but not least, you don't as I mentioned before, you don't have to be a total expert out of that. You just have to be 2 to 3 steps ahead of the average person. So when you are now inspired and you say, this sounds great, I never knew I could do it, but you make me believe that I can do it, then you can literally book a free consulting call either with me directly or with an expert from my team. All you have to do is click that link in the description and fill out the application, and then you can book your free consulting call. So the way that works is, link appears somewhere here right now, or link is in the description. You click on that link, you read what's on the page because it's important information for you to get started. At the bottom of the page, you can then fill out the application. It takes you 2 minutes, and then you can book the exact date and time where you want us to call you, right? That call is entirely for free. There's no international costs whatsoever. On that call, we'll basically be working step by step together with you on telling you the exact steps that you need to take in order for you to get started. We'll also be evaluating if and how exactly we can be of help of getting you there, right? And also, if you already have a skill and you want to learn how to monetize that, that's a call for you, right? If you're already making some money with that skill and you want to learn how to scale it, you want to learn to do it more legitimately and more consistently, and that call is for you as well. But also, if you like the idea of being free as an online coach, but you don't know how exactly you could make that happen, you don't know what you could be offering people, you don't know if you have a skill that's good enough, book that call with us as well, because we can analyze your skills, we can tell you what strengths you have, we know the market, we can tell you what exact model is best for you in your specific situation. Yeah, we have limited spots for that. More and more people jump on the opportunity, obviously, because that channel is getting a little bigger every day as well. That means if the link still works, it lets you go through, it means we still have a spot open for you. So take action, right? Don't hesitate too much, take action. Maybe talk to you very, very soon. And thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.
Guys, here's my video about my first close, and as I said yesterday in the Facebook group, I managed to close one client for 1K. If you execute what you are told in this program, 100% you're going to get results no matter what. If you execute, if you take action, it's inevitable to have results in this program. Get into the FBM. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made, because being only 19 and being able to make money on my own, by myself, not working for someone or not having a boss to pay me a salary. Thanks, Max. Thanks to all the coaches for providing me all this knowledge, all this value, and most importantly, keeping me accountable.